Whatever the essence of the earth and herbs and everything, even insects, and whatever the waste of the human beings and whatever happens as the garbage, everything is dragged into it. And everything is marching, flowing, ultimately until it reaches the ocean, it never rests. Similarly, all this march past of the thoughts within us, the parade of the thoughts, they go on through several embodied states. There is no time at all, because thought is making the being to be unaware of what is time. It dilutes him. The very thinking dilutes what is time. See, if we are involved in an action, suppose I am reading this book, only starting time I can just make a reference. I'll just watch the clock and okay, another half an hour I can read. But when I am involved in reading the book, after 10 minutes, the physical moment of 10 minutes, I cannot be conscious of how much time has elapsed, isn't it? Because there is a flow. Flow has taken the very being. Actually, there is no being at all anywhere in this cosmos. That is why in sun there is no center. Sun never refers itself as sun. Only we as human beings see it, evaluates it, how to make use of it, what it does. Though we are born out of that very grand parent of the family, we judge them. It never knows that its existence at all. My hand doesn't know that it exists for this body, this name called one person called as Maitreya. Nothing has an intrinsic reality within it, individual separate existence within it, except a human being with a name and form ingrained in his consciousness. He thinks that he is thinking. He thinks he is doing. He thinks he has to attain. He has not attained. He thinks he has to be ambitious. He has to arrive. He has not yet arrived. All these things are all made by a center. So, in the same way how the very subtle body, the mind or consciousness works here, Patanjali says, step in, step inside. Hold on to a location called attentivity, attention. Deploy attention. This is the first sloka. Deshabandha Chittasya Dharana. Then next we saw what we gave the definition of dhyana. What he said for dhyana? Tatra. Again he refers to the location only. A being, a human being only practices meditation. A human being only is maneuvered by his thinking, right? The dog goes by impulses, instincts. All the animals in this cosmos, the aliens, these people have not found. But our rishis and all the people have told thousands and thousands of earths are there. Different gradations of intelligence is living. In our all the scriptures, there comes the devas. Different lokas. What is that? The Daivic standards. It is light bodies. In one scripture by Kathopanishad they say, it is a katha actually, between a talk between Yama and Nachiketas. That is the Upanishad. There in one 2 or 3 slokas, Yama says, in answer to Nachiketa's question, he will be drilling him. Nachiketas, by his obedience and the perseverance and the Shraddha, he will make him to answer his questions. For certain questions, he will evade answering like this. He will say, see, though I am a Deva, the Lord of Death I am, my tenure is also bound.
It's a post.
It is a post I am holding. General Manager Death. When I was working in Indian Bank, there were so many general managers. General manager, personal general managers, this thing, accounts, like that. Like that, general manager Death. In eons of time, my post also will go. I will go in cycle again. Though I know the truth, but I have not realized the truth. I know what is that. I know what is death. And what is this human embodied state? Who lives? What is this mind? All these things I know. Literally, realization is something different. I have not gone into it. I can give you all those answers. My tenure is also limited. Even what I am, this is, see, today we are discussing, this is a point in time. You have met me. Similarly, I will be also having my future time. So many, this thing, work, projects I have to complete. All these things are already written. So, I can answer you. Why I said this? There are different regions. There are different levels of intelligence. But to realize what is what, human consciousness is needed. Because it only has a center as good and bad. There is always like a needle in a balance that always pinpoints. When I do a mistake, at the moment of doing the mistake also, it is known to me that I am doing a mistake. I am not on the right side. What I spoke was not right. What I did was not right. All these things are at that very point of doing, the very point of utterance of that word. At that very moment itself, it was a known fact that it was wrong. A type of balance is always ingrained in the very moment of the thought itself. And we are all made to behave like a drama actors only like this. Thoughts are made like this. That's why, a thought is like they say in the scriptures also, they give again the same example only in a theater. How we watch movies, first what is essential is darkness. If through windows and doors are opened, if the light penetrates through all these places, you can't see what is projected on the screen at all. So you need a complete darkness. That is why, for a layman, if he is just like a child is, he can do thousands of physical labor, but if he is asked to meditate, he will get into some darkness. If he closes his eyes, what will happen? Nothing is seen. He will get afraid. Because always familiar with thoughts. Thoughts are light bodies with images and influences. It is comfortable. That is why even the very investigation is unless we reach to the point of a blessed state, this doesn't start. The investigation of the in, the turning within, how does it start? Unless you are blessed, unless you have gone through so many aspects of plus and minus of the consciousness movements, good and bad and all these things, that became a routine, and you got, what is this? Every day the same thing is happening, same thoughts, they come and revolve. I see again and again the same good and again same bad. Is there no way to this? Like that, a moment comes. Then you start sincerely, honestly trying to find an answer. That moment, because it is an authentic moment, when that pertinent question has arisen in someone, what happens? Naturally, it is recorded everywhere also in the ether. It's in someone according to your own way of digesting the truth.
Establishing connection.
Oh, yes, it does. A blade of grass to sprout, does it happen in a normal way? It is hidden. The work is hidden. A conception of a human being. Does it happen normally?
Five elements.
Eh?
5 elements required to sprout.
Hmm?
5 elements required to sprout.
Ah. Why?
To sprout.
How does it happen?
The 5
It
elements.
is out of 5 elements. The work going on is
Who is doing
not
that?
on the surface, no. It is not revealed, no.
Happens in great silence.
It happens in great silence, no. Everything is like an artwork only, the things are happening here, no. Except a thinking machine like this mind, everything is very natural, no. That's why we call it as nature. They are one with the whole rhythm of the complete cosmos, no, universe, no. The pouring of this rain, the droplets, their course, and so many insects and things which are all thriving on this. Their birth, their death, everything is a very, very normal activity here. But who finds this clarity in all these happenings here? A human being only can. Though out of the same sun and the same 5 elements workings, he is born. But he is a elevated being. His intelligence is elevated. He has the sixth sense called as an intellect, wherein he cannot confine himself to simply the traditional thought flows, the societal influences, the parental influences. He can originally see the truth behind each and every thought and the appearances, whatever is going on happening here, no? His intellect is open to it, no? You get this point? Similarly, the very origin, the thought to arise, it is a conjuncture of two things. One is the sound. One is the sound. Some sound is getting formed. It catches some basal feeling. There must be a consciousness, very conscious, raw passion, which is converted as sound according to my way of thinking. Do you understand this? That is how the thoughts are formed, no? Suppose If I speak in an unknown language continuously, will it make any sense to you at all? Simply it becomes like
A sound.
sound
Noise.
without any meaning to it. That means constantly the raw passion without any label, without any sound attached to it. Does it not seek out something here? Do you understand this? Without any sound put on it. See, if you how the recording takes place, if you find a tape recorder, how it takes, how it registers, how it records the sound, even silences are also recorded. Silences, the gaps between noises, they give the audibility for the noises, isn't it? Both together. That means what is this being? That is what he says. You have to somehow get into that non-chattering mode, non-thinking mode, non-creation of sound mode within you. For that, anchor to something unmotivatedly. That means relaxedly. Don't aim for anything at all. Because all aims are nothing but motives having a goal at the end, right? Suppose my wife says, for evening we don't have any vegetable or anything to cook. Immediately to cook, to feed myself, I have to get something. Motive for thoughts clearly fit into it, right? I have to do something to get vegetables, to go somewhere. All these things are ingrained in every movement of the passion. So, where will you look? So, everything is here itself. That is why he says, even the very godliness, investigation of reality has to take place here only at the root, not at the end point. Who is when the action is going on, when the karma is going on, who is the karmi? Who is the karta? See the doer. Even for meditation, focus on the meditator. That is the purpose of yoga. You get this point. Now in the second stage, what is said? That is in the dhyana stage. Tatra, in the same place when you are doing, when you are with some physical movement or sound movement within your consciousness, voluntarily you have given a movement to it. A sound. Even if we are a Hindu, you can take your own mantra. The mantra is not important. You have to be with the sound. Who is that you? For that now we put it as X. When thinking happens, there is no thinker at all. Thinking alone is, right? You get the point, Narasimharaju? When you are doing something, when I am taking this glass from this room to that room, there is only acting is going on. Action in movement actually, live movement. There is no actually actor at all, right? When I am speaking, there is no speaker labeled actually. Speaking is going on, speech is going on. But normally, what is our mind assumption? We immediately come inside and say, I have given a speech today. There were a lot of comments for it. All this building, construction of so many things for it, for an action. When thoughts
For
move,
the action, the breath goes to the body.
yes, for an action done by the body, immediately out of the same moving paraphernalia of thoughts, one person comes aloof and stands apart. See, you have not done in the proper way, that's why this problem. Like that, he is commending whom? The same group of thoughts. He was not away from them, he was one in them. While doing or after doing, somewhere he disjoins from the group. It is also another thought only. But since for that thought it assumed that it owns the body, it has assumed the role of the thinker. Actually, there is no thinker at all separately from the moving flow of thoughts. That is why, in all spiritual investigation into the reality, all the sages, all the seers of the various religions, if you say, they will immediately pinpoint one aspect only. The place is important. Within what is that place? When I do closing my eyes, I do dhyana or vichara, investigation. Who is actually the investigator? Who is actually the meditator? That is the place. That is the place. It's a location where actually the attention is deployed into seeing the thoughts, right? This is how he says, Tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. Then the content, the observing movement of the breath is going in and coming out. You are watching that gross activity, or a mantra, or the breeze flowing through your body, a feeling, whatever happening within the physical arena, physical area. If the attention is deployed into seeing that without a break, only the observer and the object of observation, that may be a feeling, that may be a mental chanting of a particular word, or a gross movement of the feeling of breath going in and coming out, somewhere in the body it is touching, right? That is being looked into continuously. When these things are continuous, observer, observed, observer, observed. Actually, out of the observed, we recognize, yes, meditation is going on. We are not straying elsewhere. Okay? I am not straying elsewhere in my past memories. I am not projecting this moment for my tomorrow some work. Or I am not taking some pleasure trip within me. All these things are involved in it, except the observed object. If nothing is prevailing, then dhyana is happening. There is a meditator and there is meditation. Then the reality happens to that sincere location, actually, not person. Okay, the observer. There is an element of transformation is happening there. What is that element? That is what he says in the third. For samadhi. In samadhi, what he says is, Tadeva tatyeva arthamatra nirbasam swarupam sunyamiva samadhihi. Like that he says. In the same place where he is being with the flow of the movement. He is the movement. Suddenly what happens? The observer of the movement is missing. He has become one with the object itself, observed. That is what I said. Only while taking the book only I am going through the heading. If I am a sincere person, without any closed mind activity within me, thinking of some bothering, some planning, nothing is there. Only I am left with this moment. I have a beautiful book. I have interest in it. Okay? I have full interest in it to deploy. For some moments only I will be away from the book as an observer. After some time, I am one with the spirit of the writer. I am going and traveling along inside his mind. I enjoy, because there is no interference at all. There is no distraction within me at all.
Meaning,
I lost the
meaning
complete
there is no reader,
circum.
only reading.
Huh?
There is no reader, only reading.
Only reading is taking place. I lost awareness of anything else. The awareness has become the very reading.
Losing our own existence.
There is no separate existence at all. That is what he says as samadhi.
It is merged.
It is not actually merging. Actually, one alone is. One alone.